have spent over $22 million in meta ads across all my clients, and today we're gonna do a breakdown of AG1 and why creative fatigue is not a talent problem and is most likely an iteration problem. So this is kind of a very common problem that I have seen happen a lot when I'm like reviewing different ad accounts I'm auditing, and it's basically that most of the founders are creating a lot of new content and they're not really iterating on things that already have very good signs. So that's very important that you understand the ad account, you understand all the metrics and how to create hypotheses based on that. Yeah, I have probably seen brands doing like 10 new ads every single week and they don't really check what's actually performing, and this is terrible. So I would say like this is my favorite framework, and this is basically how I do before I start working with any brand. So we have here the research, and is of course we have to scrape everything that is already existing. So if I'm working for a brand, I'm gonna be checking internal customer service, post-purchase service, and any sort of information like reviews, any internal stuff, and then we're gonna go to Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, TikTok, even if it's like something medical, going to like papers, like doctor papers. Want to understand as much as possible what are the frustrations, what are the emotions that they have, and this is why I also like whenever I can I do interviews. There's two types of interviews, at least from me. And one is basically, hey, asking to a client, like, can you share me the contacts of someone that already bought the product and that is willing to do an interview, and I will ask actual buyers. And for example, recently I was working with something related to high blood pressure, and my dad suffers from high blood pressure. So what I did, I actually went and did a 15-minute to 20-minute interview, understand what are the medications they try, what they suffer, how they feel. Like actually having word by word all those things will make you understand better your audience. And then once we have like step 1 and step 2, we go to scripting. The thing of scripting is, of course, we need to put real language and not just like Ask Claude or ChatGPT, whatever you use, to create a script. Basically asking, go and create an angle based on this idea. If you want to use AI, if not, you make it from scratch. But make sure that you have the language, the understanding of the problems, and all that information. Then, of course, we script, we edit, we upload, and from there we got a feedback loop. And this is the most important part, because if not, you're gonna keep creating contents. You can create 50 concepts for one angle, but if you don't really do feedback loops every single week, you don't really understand, okay, what are the hypotheses I can create, why this ad is working, and what they have in common across different of my winning ads for me to create a new winning ad. So this is super important, and yeah, once you do that, you're most likely gonna find like these champions ads with high hook rate, high hold rate, and even at the end, what we really care is ads with good performance and good hard metrics, good ROAS, cost per click, all the metrics that we actually looking for. But if you're asking yourself how you can create iterations and how you can take that extra juice to each one of the concepts that are already performing, these are some of the many options that you can do to do iterations. One of my favorite ones, if you're doing UGC stuff, is just getting the same script, same brief, and changing the face. Just changing the face sometimes will like basically make a winner win or break. And there's two things. You might end up finding that, hey, the first creator, the one that is winning, her likeliness, people resonate more. Okay, we need to hire more this one. Or it's gonna be like, okay, we can take more juice to this content. And a very good example, I know that a lot in TikTok Shop, for example, they have around 5 to 10 briefs, and they shoot that to hundreds of creators every single month. And because they know that some frameworks of scripts, some structures are proving to work for them, they just put that at high volume, and that can definitely work. But for that, like for sure, it's also important that if you should see that keeps getting winners, there is a reason, something in her face, something. Sometimes, even though it's very hard to replicate with someone else, even with an AI, it's important you find those things because you can iterate that and keep hiring the same creator that is already performing. Then if you have like a hook that keeps winning, I have done this. I have seen top winner ads in like big brands doing over 1 million of ad spend with multiple times the same hook, performing. So okay, we're gonna also try this as a static, and of course it depends if it makes sense to become a static, but I have seen this also working. And I have been doing a lot of native ads for the last months and doing the same copy with a new visual. This is also, both of them are both structures I do a lot because we are basically kind of like making this like a soccer tournament and looking to compete across different creatives and see what's something that is like indestructible. And this is basically how I call the new champion. This is super important because with this you are basically beating the fatigue. Fatigue is inevitable, it's gonna happen, and then you're gonna get ads that sometimes ads might perform 100k spend and suddenly one day to another they might die at 20k spend. It just depends on the niche and how good was the ad. But basically you're able to take way more juice of that information, of that brief that you made one time and it's performing, and you want to take that extra juice. So if you're not doing that, you're basically making something that might be amazing but then taking months and months to try to find a huge winner, while you could have multiple winnings across the whole of the month. A very good example, I'm working right now on a brand doing 1 million a month ad spend. Is mostly happening on native ads, and we have around 200k ad spend on one single angle, and it counts already with probably around 6 iterations, and it has been like improving month over month. And we just see how good iterations can be if you just try to create hypotheses of, okay, what are the common patterns. Even more, like in this case I have 6 winners in this angle. I have even more hypotheses because I can compare across different concepts. Okay, these 2 images have this person standing in this angle, or this product is being held in a certain way. Just trying to find common patterns visually, that is gonna help a lot too. The same if it's a video, you go for emotions and stuff like that. So if you want to, before I keep going, I basically do this a lot on X. I share my day-to-day operations, how I do stuff. So if you want to go, just go in X and you'll find me anywhere at Ads with Mariam. I will also leave the link on my description. Now, let's go back to how AG1 does this. And I have seen some of these ads running for a longer time. I have seen some of these ads being new, and this is basically like if you're trying to find common patterns when you're checking brands, the best thing if you're really running at a good scale, you don't really need to be checking other accounts, you just need to be focusing on yours. But if you're more in a learning phase, you can try to find, okay, maybe this ad was running for 6 months and now they create this like 2 weeks ago. Okay, most likely this layout was working for them. So you can basically create different sort of concepts across the same visuals. So here we have like 3 types of visuals. We have these ones, is one pair, another pair, and these ones. Basically just changing the copy. Okay, you know, really have that this layout was interesting enough. It might be the layout or maybe the information. So what you can do is changing the layout and changing the information just one at a time, and you will find multiple sort of iterations. This is what you can do with design. You can do the same with videos. And then here is a very good example, and this will definitely appeal to completely different avatars. This is also important to actually be thinking sub avatars, because here we have a travel person, we have an outdoor person, we have an office person, we have a gym workout person, and a healthy. We can consider them, these 2, as similar, but they are at the same time quite different. So this is very important that you're not just shooting different like lines. Here we have like different claims, different things, calm evenings, your brain won't dim, wind down without the pills. These different ways we are saying the things. And basically at the end, at larger scales, what we're looking for is finding common patterns. Another good example is I did work with a brand that was doing around 200k ad spend monthly, and we went to 750 in really was like 3 months. And one of the things was we find out that from all the winners hooks that we have in the videos, there was one word that we found most of the time repeating, and we keep pushing that, and that was helping us a lot to understand and to grow basically the business. So we know here that AG1 is already doing 650 ads active, and they're doing some split testing. We can go here to brand search. They have over 2 million of traffic. There is a decline happening based on this, but we can even see like the type of concepts that we're running. And one of the things, if you're using websites like these ones, like brand search, that I really like is that you can go to the most duplicates and you can already see ads that they keep duplicating. And I would say this with AdSpy is probably one of the best ways to find potential winners from other brands, because here, okay, you don't really duplicate an ad that is not performing. The same with like AdSpy, you don't really gonna have a lot of engagement, a lot of likes and share with an ad that is not really working. So you will find, like, if you actually go and check all the winners. It might be, okay, we have here 2 duplicators, 2 duplicators, 2 duplicators. So something with this partnership is working and we have this 3 times the same face. Okay, this creator is performing. And then of course we go and watch the videos. So yeah, there's different ways that you can basically go and push new concepts, but the most important thing is that you actually understand why you're creating those concepts and use your past information to basically improve. If you want me to audit your ad account, you can just go directly to adswithmarian.com. You'll find everything there. If you want to just chat or you want to like see everything I share on social media, you can check it here. It's adswithmarian.com and adswithmarian in X, Instagram, wherever you are, you can find me that way.